Welcome to Secret Story. It was the second Wednesday of the month. It was my wife's date night. Yes, I am one of those fools. I guess I am a cuckold of sorts, but not a traditional cuckold. With all that said, I do suffer badly on that one day a month when she walks down the stairs dressed not for me but dressed to kill for the man she will be that night. Ray, I am going out to get a really good tonight and will be back in the morning. I love you and will be home by 10 a.m. Her statement gives no reassurance that I will ever see her again as she walks out the door. I have only a slight idea where she is going then, as she leaves each night, giving me a sweet kiss, she hands me her cell phone, leaving me no way to contact her. She will simply be floating around heaven, bar after bar. Yes, you heard me right. My wife has no date planned when she leaves the house and begins her nightly adventure. She is on the prowl looking to find the perfect for the night. She never goes with the same man twice. So why am I telling you this story? Well, because I am ending this charade tonight. 4 of my friends are stationed at Laurie's favorite selection points, the cocktail lounges at the best hotels in town, the Ritz, the Westin, the Marriott Marquez, and the Adams House. I know a little about how Laurie works on these nights. How do I know this? On the first 2 nights, I followed Laurie as I was trying to rationalize my thinking and was concerned for her safety. I wore a disguise and sat at the far side of the room, away from her, watching her subtle activities and approach. She was smooth and coy as men approached her. She stayed for one dirty martini, 45 minutes at the Ritz. Not finding a suitable lover for the night, she moved on to the Marriott and the Westin, where she found. He was an older, distinguished gentleman. Once she connected, I departed, not wanting to see or know any more. That was a hard night and taught me that I never wanted to know who she was with, where they were, or what they did that night. But I had the same concerns the second month, so I followed her again. I witnessed the same routine, which ended at the Adams house. Her second stop. I left for home when I saw a man buy her a martini. Seeing Laurie with another man hurt much worse that time, so that was my last time following her. So, I knew her haunts now, and my lieutenants were stationed at each of them tonight. As my wife walked out the door, kissing me and giving me her phone, I texted them all. My text: she is on the move. Uber just left. When Laurie left, my other assistant returned from the garage where she had been waiting until Laurie left. Mary Ann Strong was a great friend. We have been in community theater together for over 3 years and have a friendly relationship. She knows how I struggle with my wife's proclivity and how hurt I am whenever she has a date night. She also knows I hide my hurt and let her dates roll off my back, while in reality, it kills me inside every date she has. We talked about it many times after our performance rehearsal over a coffee. Mary Ann is a married lady with a great husband, Sid, and 3 kids. She is a makeup specialist and owns a makeup studio. Mary Ann, Sid, and I were having coffee the night before Laurie's date night last month, talking about how I was ever going to stop Laurie from this nasty habit. Sid produced an ingenious idea. Ray, you should pick up Laurie yourself and end this charade that night with the ultimatum: stop this ridiculous escapade tonight so we can have babies and move on with our life. Or we will divorce, and you can do this every night for the rest of your life. Divorce was not my plan, but I could no longer take Laurie's escapades. It was time for us to have children and a normal life. It was time for Laurie to grow up, be a responsible wife, and prove that she could be a responsible mother to our children. This will be a test to see if that is possible. If it is, great. If not, we will have to divorce and go our separate ways. I would be sad if that happened. But what other choice did I have? As the 3 of us talked, I explained Laurie was attracted to older men, rugged men, and biker types with tattoos. Laurie would never meet a biker type at one of these hotels. So on a given night, if a biker guy were in the bar, she would be his for the night. So, we hatched a plan. I am Ray Stiles, an independent IT consultant working from home. My time is mine, so I am free whenever I need to. The plan was that on a Wednesday morning after Lori went off to work as a paralegal, Mary Ann would come over and prepare me to be the biker guy. Mary Ann had found some perfect temporary tattoos for my body. We thought that it was going to be fun to apply. We all laughed. Mary Ann planned the whole disguise design, including a mouthpiece to change my voice, a finger tattoo, wild rings for me to wear, and all the clothes. I want to wear business attire and let the tattoos set the hook. The ones on my arms and neck will be added after Lori leaves tonight. There were 14 tattoos, so it took several hours to lay them out and put them on. The best one was a large back tattoo of an American eagle. It took over an hour to put it on and seal it. I am not a tattoo person, but it looked amazing when painted across my back. They were all patriotic tattoos, but one had my mother's name on a red heart. Once they were all on, Mary Ann brought out the tattoo. I had not seen it, so when I read it, I laughed out loud. It was in small print, so Lori would have to get really close to read it. I will look like a biker after Mary Ann adds the arm and neck tattoos. I haven't shaved for a few days and have that shadow look. Add the makeup Mary Ann will put on me, and the wig that will be fixed to my head, and Lori will never recognize me. I will be the dream biker guy she has always wanted. I have been practicing with the mouthpiece for a couple of weeks, and when I talk to people on the phone who know me, they have no idea it is me. Lori will be fooled. We set the plan in action, and Mary Ann finished adding the tattoos to my arms and neck. I looked at Mary Ann, a beautiful woman. Mary Ann set up and went through the process of putting the tattoo applique down the length of my. It fit nicely, and the lettering was small enough that Lori had to get down to read it. When she was ready, Lori would have to see it, and when she read it, she would be shocked. She would not understand until it hit her that it was me. Even then, I was not letting her off. Oh yeah, this was going to be fun, and I would end the charade that she had been playing for months tonight. Mary Ann smiled up at me. I can't let you go soft for 20 minutes, or the tattoo will break up if you go soft. I smiled. Sid said it was okay, right? I hoped she did. Mary Ann looked up at me. It had been about 20 minutes. We held each other, and I whispered, "This is our only time ever. I hope you liked it as much as I did." Mary Ann rose and kissed me. God, I wish we could do this again. You were spectacular. Thank you. I looked at my watch and knew I had to get moving. I need to clean up and go. I sponged off, and Mary Ann put on the makeup, and finally, the wig was glued on. I looked at myself, and I was a biker in a suit. I took off, texting the guys that I was on my way. Lori was already being courted at the Marriott but was not succeeding. I knew she would move on soon. I parked in the city lot on Cortlandt Street. I walked the 2 blocks to the Ritz, her next stop, I guessed. I sat in a dark corner and ordered a JD on the rocks. My phone buzzed. At the Ritz, walking in the door now. There she was. She walked slowly up to the bar and took a stool in the middle. I watched both men and women turn their heads as she walked in. Watching her and then whispering to each other. The barman came to her with her drink already prepared. He knew her and what she drank. They chatted, and he went off to help another customer. It was time to make my move. 3 empty stools were beside her, so I sat on the third one over. I acknowledged her with a smile and ordered a fresh drink. I offered her one, but she declined. 1 drink was her limit until she scored her date. The stools on the other side were a couple, so anyone approaching her had to come to my side. Lori looked over at me and smiled. I see tattoos on your fingers. I bet you have a lot of tattoos. Well, yes, I do, 19 to be exact, I said proudly. Wow. That is a lot. They must be all over your body, she asked, smiling her beautiful smile. Lori stood up and moved to the stool beside me. "Can you show me a couple?" she asked. I looked at Lori. She had not recognized me or my voice. Now, she wanted to see my shaved, tattooed body. "Well, miss, that would be awkward. First, I do not know your name, and you don't know mine. Also, my tattoos are under my clothes, and I can't exactly undress here, but I can show you a few on my chest and forearms." Lori smiled. "My name is Nikki, and your name is?" "Nice to meet you, Nikki," I said, holding my hand for a shake. "My name is Sam, Sam Turner." Lori used a different name so her could not find her. That was smart. I removed my jacket and rolled my sleeves to the elbow, showing Nikki my forearm tattoos. They were patriotic, one on each forearm, a Confederate flag on my right, and an American flag on my left. They were in brilliant colors, with soldiers around the edges. "Oh, the art is beautiful. What others do you have? May I touch them?" Nikki asked. I held out my arms and let her touch me. Her soft fingers ran slowly along the art. She looked at me and whispered. People looked over and saw what we were doing. The barman said, "Nikki, you must stop now and take it out of here." I quickly closed my shirt and apologized to the barman. I had set the hook and had to reel her in now. She had found for the night, Sam, me. "Do you want to see more, Nikki?" I asked. Nikki's eyes locked on mine. She leaned in and kissed me lightly, catching her by surprise. I held the kiss for a minute and pushed her away. "I asked you a question. Do you want to see all of them? If so, we need to go upstairs," I said firmly. I had taken control, but that was not Nikki's plan. She wanted control, and she was nervous that I had it now. She wanted me to take her upstairs, or she wanted to invite me, but she didn't have a room, so she needed to go with me. "You are staying here?" Nikki asked. "Yes, and you?" "No, I was having a drink, and you caught my eye." Nikki teased. "Oh, really, you looked like you were waiting for someone," I said. "Well, yes, I was waiting for someone," Nikki said, playing her little game. "Who would that be? A boyfriend or, God forbid, your husband?" I started ratcheting things up a little. "No, neither of them. I was actually hoping to meet you," Nikki said with a big smile. "Oh really, how so?" "You didn't know I would be here," I stated. "No, but I have always wanted to meet a tattooed man like you," Nikki said, smiling, running a fingernail along the outline of the flag on my arm. "Well, Miss Nikki, what were you planning for me?" I asked, digging in. Nikki ignored my question and said, "I really want to see all your tattoos." "Can we do that?" "I believe I can." "Let's go then." "The night is wasting," I said, signing the charge tab and standing up. My Uber arrived, and I kissed Ray as I did every date night. It worked well on all of my past date nights since I had convinced Ray to let me do this once a month. I wanted to do it more often, but Ray would only agree to once a month. He was unhappy about me doing this. I was not sure how long he would allow me to continue. I knew it would have to stop when we started trying to have babies, and that was not far off. Tonight, I was starting at the Marriott, then the Ritz if I had no luck, and then to the Adams house. Uber dropped me at the Marriott. I would have my usual dirty martini. If nothing happened, I would be off to the second stop, the bar at the Ritz. On the ride to downtown, I thought about Roy sitting at home waiting for me, anguishing over his decision to let me have these nights. I was surprised when I asked him to allow me this pleasure, and he reluctantly agreed after months of discussion and finally my pleading with him. I know he did it because he loves me completely and knows I would never leave him. We also have an incredible time when I come home. So I am fresh for him. I entered the Marriott bar, taking a seat along the rail. The barman remembered me bringing my regular dirty martini, 3 olives with a dash of olive juice. I scanned the bar and around the room. Only a few candidates are here tonight, so I will move on soon. Just then, a young man sat on the stool beside me. He ordered a neat scotch and sipped it. He turned to me, and we began a brief conversation. At first, I thought he was on the make, but after a few minutes, I realized we were having a casual conversation, and there was no future with him. After about 20 minutes, I finished my drink and told Scott I was leaving. He politely shook my hand, saying he enjoyed talking to me. I quickly exited, making the 3-block walk to the Ritz. As I entered and made my way to the bar, Tony, the bartender, smiled, "Hi Nikki," the usual. I nodded, "Hi Tony, yes, please." And I sat down in the middle of a group of empty stools. My drink slid across the bar, and I took my first sip. There was not much activity here tonight, either. I may be moving on again after my drink. A young couple sat beside me on my left, and we spoke, but their conversation was between them. I sipped my drink, hoping an attractive man would take a seat on my right. About halfway through my drink, 2 men approached and spoke to me, but I was not interested in either of them, so I told them I was waiting for my husband. That scared both of them off. I was losing hope when a nice-looking man sat down a couple of stools over. He ordered a draft beer and chatted with Tony, paying no attention to me. As I looked closer, I could see the edges of tattoos on his neck above his shirt collar. I also saw finger tat spelling out LOVE on his left hand. Wow, I thought. I had never seen a tattooed man in this bar before. That intrigued me. I have a thing for biker types with tattoos but have never been with one. It is a fantasy of mine. My heart started to beat faster. This may be the night my fantasy would come true, and I would take this tattooed man as my night's lover. I had to test the water. I stood, walked 2 stools over, placed my drink on the bar, and held out my hand. "Hi, I am Nikki." He turned, and his green eyes pierced me. His smile was broad, and his teeth were white and straight. "Well, hello Nikki, my name is Sam, Sam Turner." Oh my, Sam is a name, I thought. He told me he had 19 tattoos. That surprised me. Wow, which is a lot. They must be all over your body. I asked, smiling and being. I asked, "Can you show me a couple?" Sam stopped me and said, "That would be awkward. We just met, and most of the tattoos are under my clothes, and I can't exactly take my clothes off here. I can show you a few on my chest and forearms." Sam removed his jacket and rolled his sleeves up to the elbow, showing me his forearm tattoos. They were patriotic, one on each forearm, a Confederate flag on my right, and an American flag on my left. They were in brilliant colors, with soldiers around the edges. "Oh, Sam, the art is beautiful. What others do you have? May I touch them?" I asked. Desperate to feel his skin. I touched him, feeling his strong arms. I let my fingers trace over the art. I reached up and slowly opened his shirt, exposing the incredibly detailed Harley biker tattoo across my chest. Then, Tony came over and told us we had to stop and take it outside. I backed off, and we talked about what was next. I admitted I had a thing for tattooed men but had never been with one. Sam questioned if I was an escort, if I was waiting for my husband or boyfriend. I laughed at all of them. Sam challenged me to go to his room to see more. I paused as if thinking, but my decision had been made. "Sam, I need to see all your tattoos. Do you think you can do something to help me out?" I asked with a pouty look on my face. In a flash, Sam paid for the drink tab, and we were out the door to the elevator and up to his room. The night was going just like I hoped. What a shock it would be when I revealed it was her husband in her bed. She will freak out. My decision to be the man that broke her date night plan will either go like I want, or she will be pissed and revolt. If that happened, we would have a bigger problem than I thought. If tonight does not end the charade, then I will have to divorce her, which is not something I want to do. I hadn't lost my touch getting her to come to my room. We left the bar, and Nikki became aggressive once we were in the elevator. The door opened. And she pulled me into the hall, asking, "What is your room number?" I led her down the hall 3 doors and handed her the key card. Nikki looked at me and swiped the card, pushing the door open. She slipped into the room, spinning around. "Nice room," she chirped, smiling at me. I followed Nikki inside, dropping my jacket on a chair. She was so happy. This worried me. It was not what I expected, but then again, I really didn't know what to expect tonight. That's why I have to end it. The joy I see in Lori at this moment is genuinely concerning. As I see her dancing around like a kid on Christmas, waiting to open her big present, I wonder if she can stop this charade and settle down so we can be a typical family. Have kids, and be together for the rest of our lives. We will see tonight when the reveal is exposed. It was time to play with Nikki and see how this all would end. Nikki stopped spinning and looked at me. The look on her face changed. "Oh my God," she said in a husky voice I was unfamiliar with. Nikki was a different woman tonight. I had never seen her quite like this. I hoped it was her fantasy. "Oh my God, Sam, they are amazing, so beautiful," Nikki said. "How long to put this one on? Did it hurt? Was it expensive?" Nikki chirped. "Many hours in several sessions." "Yes, it does hurt, but you get used to it." "They are expensive, I'll never tell," I said. I turned around to show Nikki my back. She gasped, "Oh God." I turned back around, I asked, "So, what do you want, Nikki?" She looked up at me. "I want this." She whispered, "Well then, I guess we need to get at it. First, I am going to play some games with you. Does that sound like fun?" I teased. "Oh God, yes, baby, let's do it," Nikki declared. After a while, me falling over on the bed beside her. We lay breathing hard. Her breathing slowed as she recovered. Her fingers traced the lines on the biker and cobra tattoos around my waist. The moment of truth was about to become a reality. I braced myself for her responses and mine afterward. I had practiced my words carefully and was committed to what I would say regardless of what Lori said. This was the defining moment in our relationship. "Not yet, Sam. I need to read your tattoo first." "You said it was a surprise, so what does it say?" Nikki teased. "You have to read it aloud to me then." The light was dim, so I reached over and turned on the bedside lamp for more light. Nikki looked down. The moment of truth was here. "Read it aloud, Nikki," I told her. Lori's head jerked up. She gasped, "What, Mum, no. God." As she let go of and quickly sat back, moving away to the headboard and covering up with the sheets. A look of profound shock covered her face, not knowing what to make of what she had just read. "Sam, what does this mean?" Lori blurted out. "What did it say again?" I calmly asked. "Read it to me again, please," I said. Sheepishly, Lori said, "This is Ray's, but Lori wants other men's, so she can't have this anymore." "But that makes no sense at all. What does that mean?" Lori asked, wrapped in total confusion. I sat looking at Lori with no expression on my face. Lori looked at me, her eyes following my every move, growing more confused as she saw the thing in my hand. "Nikki or Lori, whichever you are now, it's me, Ray, your loving husband. You picked me up in the bar tonight." "Yes, Lori, under all the tattoos, makeup, and wig, it is me, Ray, the man who loves you with all his heart and soul." Lori sat stunned, staring at me. I pulled off the wig, and Lori screeched, "Oh God, no!" and fainted, falling over on the bed. I checked Lori. She was okay, she just fainted from the shock of seeing it was me. I slipped off the bed, went to the bathroom, and washed up. I came back and dressed just as Lori came back to life. I was in the chair my clothes had been on, looking at Lori, wrapped in a sheet, now shaking. "But Ray, how, why, what has happened?" Lori asked, totally confused. "Yes, please tell me what is going on, Lori. For the past 17 months, I have allowed you to go out on the second Wednesday of each month to find a strange man to give you a, as you say. I was stupid to ever allow those nights out in the first place. If you demanded it anyway or cheated on me, then I could have spared myself the pain I have endured all this time. But I allowed it and have endured the extreme pain I feel every time you dress for your new man, and I see you walk out the door. You leave your phone at home, preventing me from contacting you. Do you know how difficult it is for me on the days before you go out and the days after? I am under complete emotional stress, but you seem to be blind to it, or you don't care. I am not sure which it is, or maybe it is both. That concerns me greatly. 2 months ago, I decided to stop this little charade. It took me 2 months to plan just how. So here we are in the hotel room, Sam Turner, your tattoo lover, for the night. Only it is not Sam, it is me, Ray, your husband. Lori, I am here tonight to end your Wednesday night forever. I needed to catch you in the act to be the one you chose for tonight so I could reclaim my wife if that is what you want. So, Lori, Nikki, whichever you are, you now have a simple choice you must make right here and now. Your answer will determine how this night will end and how our marriage to each other will continue or end tomorrow. So do not rush your answer because there are no second guesses. What comes out of your mouth as your answer will seal our fate. Do you understand? Lori, listen carefully to every word of my voice. Please do not interrupt me. When I finish, you will be able to speak. Do you understand? Can you remain quiet? I asked. I looked at Lori. She was cowering against the headboard, completely confused, and had no idea what was happening. Lori, are you with me? Do you understand what I am saying? Lori sat up and looked at me with sad eyes. She nodded, yes, I think I do. Well then, here are your 2 simple questions. 1. Will you cease these Wednesday or any other night and betrayal tonight and return to your place as my wife? 2. Do you want me to divorce you so you can anyone you want anytime you want without bothering about me ever again? Those are your 2 choices. It would be best if you gave me an answer now. I will give you 5 minutes to make your decision. I took the hotel key off the desk and left the room. I considered our life together extraordinary. I never denied to Ray, and he never rejected me. We loved each other, and we wanted the same things most of all. To have kids and live our lives, growing old together. But there was this one little kink in our marriage, my selfish demand that my man agreed to. He was such a good man, and he never complained. When it became too great a burden, he found a way to address it, and what a shocker it was. Now, I am alone in the room with a decision to make. I have only one real option. I love Ray more than anything. His act tonight has proven his love for me. He has also proven to be an incredible lover, even more than I have ever experienced. Had I given it a chance, we could have learned to experience what I wanted and had it together. Then, Wednesday nights would not have been needed. My decision was simple. I chose Ray. He is my man, my true love, the future father of my kids, and my tattoo fantasy man. I could not ask for a more perfect man. I know I have a lot of work to do, and I will start as soon as I give Ray my answer. I went to the bathroom, washed my face, and cleaned myself for what I had planned for later. As I came out of the bathroom, Ray walked back in and silently sat in the chair at the end of the bed. I crawled onto the bed and sat cross-legged at the end. Ray looked very serious. I knew this was serious, but in a few words, I was about to fix everything. Ray said, "So Lori, you have had time to think about our future from your perspective. What is your answer? I smiled. Ray, there was only one answer. I choose you. I love you, Ray, and I do not want to lose you. I realize now that I was so wrong to put you through the last 18 months of this hell. And I owe you more than you can imagine. I love you for allowing me to experience what I did, but I am ashamed that I was so unloving to have done that to you. Please forgive me. Ray, what is your answer? I asked. I sat looking at Ray. His face had softened, and I felt we would make it through. Lori, I love you more than you know. I do not want to lose you, but I have my doubts as to your ability to stop your monthly exercise. It is a habit now, performed so easily that you think nothing of me on those days and nights. I am just the man at home waiting for your return. I have always been there whether you have a good or bad night. Well, that is not the case any longer. If you were to ever go off on another night out, I would not be there when you came home. It would be an empty house and maybe an empty life for both of us. When we married, we wanted to build a family, have many babies, and live a loving life together. These past 18 months have given me time to think about whether that is really what you want or if you want to be a free spirit. Hustling guys as you do every day or whenever you want. I am sure in your adventure, you will find the right guy who will allow that freedom sometimes, but it is not me. I have come to my senses and can never stand for that again. I learned I was a weak man when you asked me, afraid of losing the love of my life, but I realized that a truly loving wife would never have done what you did. Lori, the question for me is not if I love you, which I do, but if I can trust you to build a family with me and know that you will be with me every day and night and never desire to stray again. My last and most important question is, how can I know that you, Lori, my wife, will never do what you have done again? Not once more, but never again. Ray sat quietly as I thought about how to answer. What could I say? What sacrifice could I make that would make Ray believe me? I had no answer. Sadly, I did not know if that would be okay, but it was true. My word and my love was all I had. That had to be good enough. Ray, I have no magic answer. All I have to give you is love. I vow to you the day we wed. The vow of fidelity that I have violated but will solemnly vow to you this minute and my word. I will never be unfaithful to you again. I swear on my life. Ray sat there silently. Well, Nikki, I think we have some business to finish here tonight. First, read the tattoo on my belly and do as it says. Ray stated. Ray stepped to the edge of the bed. I looked up at Ray. I love you, Sam Turner, or whoever you are. Thank you, Sam Turner, wherever you are. Copyright 2024, all rights reserved. No part of this story can be reproduced in any form or by any electronic or mechanical means without written permission from the author. All characters are fictitious, and any similarity to actual people, living or dead, events, or locales is entirely coincidental unless otherwise stated.